welcome everybody to Freeform Radio on the Freeform Network. You can follow us on Facebook at Freeform Network, on Twitter, FFR Podcast, and remember to send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. We're back in Adam. My name is Andy. We're here ready to rock your fucking ears. We also have Daniel.
Yes, sir. Back here, sitting in my humble abode. I was about to start drinking a beer, but then I had to jump on and record, so I didn't want to get too wasted.
Maybe down the road, man, we could, that'd be a special episode.
Right.
And speaking about special, we got Noel with us today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad to be here.
And after our record-setting 100th episode, because we were part of many coalitions, we're fucking still at 'em. Record-setting. Send us your questions or thoughts on it, on living to 1 billion fucking years. You want to be married for 1 billion years. Send them all. Let us know what you guys thought on Facebook, Twitter, whatever you guys want to prefer. But we're back in at 'em. Noel, a resident UFC expert, is back, and he wants to break down the latest UFC. I don't even want to call him a pay-per-view because I don't know what it is no more on ESPN Plus. What happened, man? Break it down for us.
So I'm just gonna go over the main event. That's really what's like probably the highlight of the night. And so it was Justin Gaethje versus Donald Cerrone. They're at 155 pounds, and just to kind of give you a little reference, Conor McGregor, who's kind of one of the more popular guys right now in UFC, he used to be the champion at 155. So these guys are working their way up to beat the current champion, which is Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's who beat Conor. So
yeah.
Anyway, so Justin Gaethje fought Donald Cerrone, and I don't know if you know these guys. They're both well known for their striking ability, their perseverance, their toughness, their grittiness, and their abilities to get knockouts. And so this fight was pretty much a guaranteed knockout, which ended up producing just that. The first round, Justin Gaethje won by first round knockout at the 4-minute and 18-second mark. And only 60 strikes were thrown before Donald Cerrone called it quits. And he got dropped to the ground. He looked like he tried to get up for a second, but Justin just had his number. He just kept peppering him with punches, and at a certain point, he's actually trying to just stop fighting, and the ref's not even calling it. The ref didn't even stop the fight, so Justin had to throw a couple extra. And these guys are actually friends behind the scenes, so it was kind of emotional for him, and Justin got upset with the ref for not calling it, a fight earlier. And so Donald unfortunately took maybe 4 unanswered shots straight to the face, pretty hard ones, and that's what got him Justin the win for KO.
That was the main event.
That was the main event for this card.
The winner of those fight Khabib.
Not necessarily. The Khabib has already another fight lined up, and this winner, Justin, he's gonna get the winner of that fight.
Now, Khabib, that's the Middle Eastern guy, right? The one that comes out with that big wig? Or is he? Oh, yeah, the Russian guy that got caught with the president, right?
He's hanging out with Putin.
Right.
Right. Yeah, he's Russian and Muslim. And, he definitely has ties with the KGB, I believe. So, well, at least with Putin. But I just imagine it just escalates, or it trickles down. If you have, the head of the KGB, then I'm pretty sure you know other members, right? But
man, his dad. Well, I don't know. I saw some last year something where they were hooking up with Putin. There was a press conference or some shit, and it was just strange.
Yeah, I don't really follow politics too much, but he's definitely had his rumors about being involved in all that. He actually got caught for something unrelated to all that. He got caught for by PETA. PETA really started giving him all this backlash about having a bear chained up, and he used it for wrestling.
Yeah.
So they're all trying to free the bear,
Oh, imagine it's like a cub, right? Not like an actual. He's not fucking fighting a full-grown bear, right?
It didn't look fully grown. It actually looked like either a cub or like a malnourished bear. But I just thought it was pretty interesting, you know. Anyway, this fight that Justin Gaethje won now kind of, lines him up for a title shot down the line, and this is his third win by KO in the first round. So, Justin Gaethje, he's had my attention ever since he got into the UFC. He initially was, I believe, a Bellator champion, or no, World Series of Fighting champion at 155 pounds, and then he got introduced to the UFC through Dana White, and they brought him in, and he's half Mexican, dude. So you got to root for your boy, right?
All right, right.
Absolutely.
Hey, the Cerrone guy, wasn't his nickname Cowboy, or am I thinking about somebody else?
No, you got it right, dude. That's good, dude. Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a fucking brawler, dude. He's a good fighter. It's just wasn't his night.
Yeah, yeah. Usually he puts on a really good fight. He's got like that Rocky attitude, I think, where he fights very hard, but he has taken some bad losses at times.
Does he ever say my ring's outside?
I don't know, man. I don't know if he's ever said that, but
My ring's outside. It's one of the greatest lines ever. Rocky 5 for a horrible movie.
yeah, no, he's definitely an American, just like Rocky, but he's how should I say it? He's kind of like Evil Knievel, dude. This guy does some crazy stuff. He's into like, surfing, waterboarding, like deep cave diving, and just a bunch of like really extreme sports stuff.
Right. I think he's getting close to the end of his career because I think he's getting up there in age. So I'm not sure how much more.
I remember
how many
him
more
being
fights he's gonna have.
big. I don't, because Khabib's not a heavyweight. What is he? He's like a middleweight.
It's called lightweight. For
Lightweight.
155. Yeah,
So McGregor and Khabib fight. That wasn't a lightweight fight, was it?
that was a lightweight fight.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
55.
Then they shrunk, dude. I thought that was like the one below lightweight, because lightweight for a while was like the division, and then the heavyweight. But I don't really see. Besides what the guy that fought John Jones, the other guy, that was lightweight or heavyweight?
That's light heavyweight.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's what your light heavyweight is pretty entertaining as well. So, I would say lightweight is like a really good balance of power and speed. So usually you get a lot of knockouts, you get a lot of submissions, you get pretty exciting fights. And yeah, so I would keep an eye out on Justin Gaethje and Donald Cerrone. He'll still probably be around. He had a near-death experience recently that kind of got him like lit a fire under his ass, and so after that experience, he ended up getting a couple wins. So I think he'll still be kicking around, but his last two fights haven't looked good, unfortunately.
Right, right. Hey, did you see that ex US UFC fighter? He's in the Mayans TV show now in season 2. What was his name?
No, I haven't seen. I haven't finished the first season, so I don't know.
Jackson. He went to Bellator for a
Rampage?
while. Rampage.
Oh, he's
wow.
in there. Okay.
Well, supposedly that's what I heard on a news blast on a podcast that I listened to. They were talking about it, so I can't confirm or deny those allegations. But supposedly in season 2, he either does a cameo or he has a reoccurring role.
All I remember from Rampage is his crazy interviews, and him dry humping that reporter. That's
Oh,
all when I
right.
think of Rampage, and like when he was in the 18 movie, because like I'm gonna be a movie actor, and like he just disappeared, and he was fighting Bellator for a little bit, and then I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I wonder if he's ever gonna fight again. Now that you're saying he's in like a movie, or I mean a show.
The show, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Think about it. When he was in Strike Force, I remember him fighting the Iceman in Strike Force, and he beat him. But that has to be over 15 years ago, dude. And so I don't know. And then when he was in the knock, well, not the knock, when he went to UFC, I just remember one of the things on him that he was older. So I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he'll fight again. But I haven't really heard anything. I thought he was gonna be in more movies. Maybe he's done a lot of low budget movies. That's like the wrestlers and the mixed martial artists do. But other than that, I don't know.
Well, a quick Google search just showed me that his last fight was over a year ago, back in June of 2018.
With who or what promotion?
Bellator. That was
Really?
with Vanderlei. Yeah.
Yeah, but those guys are up in age, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Both of them are definitely like past their retirement point. I can't even believe he was in TNA from 2013 to
Well, yeah,
2015.
that's right. Yeah, he was gonna be a wrestler. He was gonna train with Jeff Jarrett, and he
Holy
did some
shit.
appearances with Tito was there, and nothing came of it. Then King Mo, he was training with TNA to do some stuff. He did a couple appearances on some pay-per-views, and they just disappeared.
It's funny, man. Like you see that more and more these days. Like Ronda Rousey, all these wrestlers starting to make their way in. Even Kane. Did you see Kane Velasquez
Yeah, he's
as
being
a
trained.
luchador?
Yeah, he's being trained by wasn't it Conan and Mysterio, Danny? I thought I heard him
Yeah,
talking about it on the podcast or with Disco. I don't know.
right. He is
I saw
training
him do
with Conan and a bunch of the luchador guys.
that's
And Matt
crazy.
Riddle, he's on NXT and he's up and coming, and he's pretty good. Because I think he couldn't hack it in the UFC, and I think Dana White was talking shit about him when he left, or I don't fucking remember. But he's doing pretty good on NXT. He started some shit with Goldberg.
I just saw Kane do a Hurricanrana and I almost lost it, bro. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So,
Supposedly he's got some good skills, man. That he's natural. I mean, he's got a wrestling background, so I'm sure he takes to it pretty easily. But yeah, supposedly he's a very good wrestler, and I guess he has commitments with UFC still. So in an interview that I heard from him, he's gonna finish those commitments and then explore what he wants to do next. But it sounded like he was really interested in the wrestling, so I'd probably expect to see some more wrestling out of him.
ah, man. Well, let's see, dude. Let's see what happens. UFC, man, it's a crazy place right now in wrestling and in UFC. So it's
Well, well, I know even who's the other guy, the Couture. He went into movies for a while too, but he
Randy
couldn't get it.
Couture.
Randy Couture,
He was
he
in
did
the Expendables, and he did a lot of low budget movies with like Stone Cold and all that.
right.
Which I love those cheesy B direct to video DVDs. I fucking love that shit because it's fucking they're so dumb and cheesy. They're funny, and I'm not knocking them. I mean, they made a movie, but like it's fucking they're I don't know. It's one of my guilty pleasures.
yeah, I know what you mean. I'm like that with horror movies.
Yeah, yeah. I love the Marine series. It started with Cena and then went to the Miz. I mean, they made 6 fucking movies of the Marine,
Wow.
and then at the end, the Miz dies in one of the movies. At the last movie, and his partner in it is Shawn Michaels, and it was just like this is so fucking strange. And I'm like, why did he have to die? They could continue to make these movies on the cheap and just make money off of them.
I'll have to check that one out, dude. With
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels.
yeah. Him and Shawn Michaels are trying to help some veteran in an abandoned building. Becky Lynch, the man, is some terrorist, and they kidnap. I don't know. And then they're just fucking fighting, and it's dumb, but it was good dumb.
Are those movies made by WWE Productions?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of slowing down on the movies they're involved in, but for a while they were just cranking out straight to DVD movies, straight to video on demand. They did one with like Dean Ambrose. They did one with Paige. They did one with Randy Orton. They had like a formula going. They would put John Cena on these big movies like in the theater, and then they would just crank out sequels that are straight to video, made them on the cheap, and they did one with Kane.
Right, that horror movie.
Yeah, they did a bunch of them, man. So I mean, they kind of slowed it down because I guess I don't want to say they're making like a ton of money, but they had to slow it down a bit.
Right. I guess I was putting out some fake news because I just tried Googling a bunch of Rampage Jackson, and I couldn't find anything with Mayan. So I guess he's not on that TV show. The last thing, like you mentioned, while he was in wrestling, and the last big movie was probably the 18.
Ah, okay.
Man, that's like 10 years ago, man.
Right, right. I thought that was going to take off because I thought the 18 movie was half decent. I'm surprised they didn't make any follow-ups to that.
Did you see that movie, Noel?
No. I don't even remember, man. Honestly, I might have.
The only thing, that movie was good then, and then it jumped the shark by when they fucking fell off that airplane with the tank and they're shooting the tank into the ground to slow it down or some goofy shit. You remember that?
Hell yeah,
I'm
man.
like, what the fuck is this?
I checked
And-
the physics and it works, man.
Nah, man. You need that guy with the beret and all that shit to do that test on Discovery or whatever the fuck. Yeah, Discovery Channel. The beret, the team guys that do all that crap.
Yeah, I think that show's canceled. What the hell was the name of it? Where they do experiments and test out myths.
I just know that guy wore a stupid beret.
Mythbusters.
Yeah, Mythbusters.
Right.
So yeah, we just I don't know, Rampage. I don't know why the fuck Rampage is getting so much time here, but final thoughts on the UFC stuff, Noel. Are you hyped up for the next one? Or when's the next one? I don't even know. You're our UFC resident expert.
Actually, you guys might be interested to know that this Saturday there's going to be another UFC event in Mexico City.
Whoa, yeah, I did kind of hear something about that. I guess it's being really hyped up because I guess they don't go to Mexico too often, so it's like a big deal that I heard in a couple of the news blogs.
Oh yeah, dude. In Mexico right now, it's been getting like a real push for MMA. So there's like a lot of good stars coming out of there. And anyway, one of their stars that actually came from Mexico City and he was on The Ultimate Fighter was Yair Rodriguez. And so he's going to be fighting Jeremy Stevens, who's half Mexican, half something else, German, I think. Just like Justin Gaethje, they're both half and half. And anyway, so it's going to be interesting, you know, Mexican versus Mexican, pretty much.
Nice, man. Takes it back to like De La Hoya versus what the hell was his name? I forgot
Camacho?
what the other. No, Camacho was Puerto Rican, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? De La Hoya versus the other big Mexican? Vargas, yeah.
He's like, he pushed me down a hill and he never helped me back up. Remember? Fuck him. And he's like, man, I don't even know who this guy is. I don't remember ever training with him.
Yeah, I just remember I loved De La Hoya in that video game, dude, that Fight Night back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That EA game.
Yeah, it was fun playing, dude, on PS2.
Right.
Actually, speaking about video games, dude, did you still been playing that Days Gone?
Yeah, actually, I just finished getting my platinum trophy on it. So just like these fighters, man, I'm a champion. But yeah, I just finished beating it a couple days ago or a week or so ago, and it's time to put it on the shelf. But it was a really good game, man. I mean, it has a few bugs and a few quirks. It's a game from a developer that doesn't really make AAA, console games. They mostly made stuff for like the Vita and smaller, like they were kind of like that studio that helped other people develop stuff. So this was their first foray into the AAA game space in the console for Sony, and it was a good game. I enjoyed it. To get the platinum, you have to get all the collectibles and unlock all these things and do all this craziness. And yeah, I was able to do all that and finish off the game. And yeah, I gotta say I enjoyed it.
So to get a platinum, doesn't that like entail you got like 100% done, or what would 100% done get you?
Special trophy.
Oh, shit.
Right. I mean, the platinum trophy it's typically you got every other trophy below it. Some of them you have to 100% the game. Some of them it's just random. You have to, like the real hard one that I had trouble with. That was probably one of the easier ones. Was that you had to drift for 5 minutes while using your turbo boost, and I couldn't get it, man. No matter what I did, I would start drifting and my bike would just do like a 360 and spin around and stop. And man, I tried it. I even went onto YouTube because I'm like, man, this is the only trophy I got left. Yeah, I'm like, man, this is the only trophy I have left. I'm like, as soon as I get this one, I'll get the platinum trophy. It's the only one holding me back. So I had to go on YouTube and finally get the tip. They're like, yeah, don't press the controller all the way. Just, press it about halfway or gradually over so that he could keep spinning in circles instead of spinning out and spinning and doing like a 180 to the other direction.
So when you got the trophy, then you shared it on your social media accounts. All the ladies were DMing you, getting your message and shit, saying, "Damn, man, I don't know no motherfucker who could do this." And you were like, "Hell yeah, girl, I can do a lot of things."
I wish it was worth that kind of status, but no, unfortunately, no. I didn't post it on my social media, but
what?
Platinums are. They're a little difficult at times for certain games. This one wasn't too tough, just because the way I was playing it, I was trying to get all the collectibles every time I would go into a new area. I was killing off all the zombie hordes everywhere I went, and I was, doing the regular stuff that I do. I was kind of, being OCD about it and just finishing off the game every time I would hit a new pocket of something new. And when I beat the game, I'm like, let me see how many trophies I ended up with. And usually after doing this with any other game, I'm usually like at 60 to 70%. And then there's a few oddballs that I just didn't get because you got to kill 1,000 people with just your knife or some goofiness. And I just didn't play that way. So I'm like really far away from the trophy. But in this case, man, I was like 80% the way there. And I'm like, holy moly. I'm like, I'm almost there. I just need to do these 3 other things and I'll get a platinum. So then that's when I went platinum hunting and got those last trophies that I needed.
Yeah, do they still give out trophies like when you fucking finish downloading the game?
No, there was only one game that I recall that I remember that they gave you a trophy for watching the end credits at the end of the game. And a trophy popped. He's like, yeah, thanks for watching the credits. And then you got a trophy for it.
Man, that's a trophy I could excel at right there, man. I can make that shit happen.
There's some goofy ones like that. I mean, there's one for starting up the game. I forgot which one it was. I think it was like Duke Nukem. Like as soon as you started up the game, you got a trophy for like, hey, thanks for playing or something. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, I got one in Resident Evil once for one of the boss fights. You have to get like picked up and dropped off. Like there's a big, huge bat that like grabs you and just throws you around. And if you get tossed around, I think it gives you like a trophy or something. I forgot what it was called, like ragdolled or some shit.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's some goofy ones that if you're not paying attention or you don't read the trophy list before you start the game, you'll probably totally miss it. And I have a few games that are like that where I thought I did about as much as you can do in the game, and then once you look at the trophy list, you're like, well, I had no idea I needed to let this guy toss me around to get a trophy. I just kicked his ass or whatever. Exactly. So it sucks. Sometimes those trophies, unless you play the game all the way through again, that trophy's gone.
Yeah, I had some difficult ones. I think the hardest I ever had was in Left 4 Dead 2. There was you had to beat every level in expert. You had to do realism. You had to do some crazy shit. And it was I finally ended up beating that 100% that game. But man, it took a while.
I mean, even on PC, do they have achievements or trophies, or what do they do on the PC?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same thing. And they're called achievements, and it's pretty much the same thing. There was one that I had to do that you had to like resurrect every player, and you had to like beat it through with just a melee weapon. You couldn't use a gun. You're fighting zombies and shit. It's pretty cool.
Then I want you to take a screenshot of all your platinum trophies and like share them on Facebook, and then I'll get you some recognition, man, on the streets.
All right. I mean, I probably only got like maybe 5 platinum trophies. But yeah, man, some of them are difficult. This game was I enjoyed it. It had a lot of good elements that I really dug. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Left 4 Dead, just because there was just like hordes of zombies that would come after you. I mean, literally like 100 of them rushing at you. So you would have to come up with tactics to kind of, corral them into an area where they would kind of get bottlenecked so that you could be able to mow down, like 50 of them before you would have to start running and going off to another area so that you can slow them down and little by little just dwindle their numbers. So it was a pretty cool game. The other good part that I liked, kind of going back to the Mayans, was you got to ride a motorcycle. So it was pretty cool, souping up the motorcycle and making it faster, getting nitrous and all this other goofiness and the apocalypse, because nitrous is in abundance. You could get as much as you want. But no, it was cool.
What would you say you would rate it out of 10? And what would they have to do for you to rate it a higher number?
I can't give it that super high a number because it did have some performance issues where, sometimes textures wouldn't pop in for like, a good 30 seconds. You would get into an area and everything just looked like Nintendo 64 graphics where it was all bland. Well, I mean, for a PlayStation 4 game, you wouldn't expect that, but it had a few issues, but nothing earth-shattering. And I guess I kind of gave them a slack just because it's their first foray into AAA space, and they're a Sony company that develops for them. So I went in and probably gave them more of a chance than I would any other game. So I guess if I got to give them a 1 through 10, I'd probably say like a 7, 5, something like that. And I would say if to get a higher, you would have to definitely clean up a lot of those bugs that I ran across. The way they told their stories was a little jarring at times too. It almost did like a Pulp Fiction thing, but not anywhere near as good as that. And yeah, man, just more of the same. I kind of really dug the formula. Gear up your weapons, gear up your motorcycle, and go out there and fight these hordes and go through these missions. So I really dug it.
Now, you completed the game, you got your platinum. Is there still like a sheet that tells you how much time it took you to get the trophies or overall to get the game completed? Do they still do that? Or I know for a while there was some games, I don't know, that's still... when I was video, a lot of people would talk about how many hours it would take to complete a game.
Yeah, I mean, some games do that. They have a running clock that will give you like a stat telling you, hey, you've been playing this for 10 hours or so. This game does not have that, or I couldn't find one because I did want to check, just because it did take me a while to beat this game. And at the end of the year, usually I get like a roundup of like the top 5 games or the 5 games that I put the most time into it. And if I got to say, this is probably going to be one of those top 5 when I get that year-end roundup from Sony.
Not the greatest game ever?
No, I got to be honest, even though I'm somewhat of a Sony fanboy, it's not the greatest, but if you give it a shot, it did have a lot of good stuff. So
what would you say is the greatest game you've played this year?
Oh, this year? That Spider-Man game was pretty tight. I kind of like that one. It was really good. And looking forward to like The Last of Us 2 coming up. They're expecting it to be released maybe at the end of this year or next year. There's actually like some type of media event happening next week, I think it is. So they're expecting the release date to be announced. So yeah, I gotta say probably the best game I've played this year is probably Spider-Man, and the best game that I've ever played is probably Shadow of the Colossus, maybe
that PS2 game.
Right. Eco was very tight. The Last of Us. No, not the Sega Genesis game. No,
yeah.
No, Eco. ICO.
Ico Pro, the wrestling thing.
Yeah, pretty close. But I guess jumping to another Sony product here, Sony Pictures. I just want to kind of quickly mention I watched Brightburn. Right. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that one or what that's about.
No,
yeah, I've actually I was planning on seeing it in the theaters when it came out, but then I heard mixed things, so I was like, oh, I'll just wait for it to come out. And I'm actually glad you watched it. So how'd you like it?
You know, man, I dug it, man. I thought it was really good. I was the same way, Noel. I was just like, man, I want to watch this in the theater, and it kind of just passed by me, and I didn't get a chance. But I finally caught it at home, and man, I think it could have been almost like this video game. It could have been so much better, but even in its current package, I think it's good. I think people are being a little harsh on it just because they could see the potential of it and how it kind of missed it a little bit. But I think it hit a lot of points. It was very entertaining. It was different, man. That's the big thing that I got from it. It was a superhero movie that's meld together with like a horror movie with some suspense, and it was just different and cool. In where right now a lot of the superheroes are, you know, like the Avengers and Iron Man and stuff like that, and where this is different, and it had a really cool spin with the horror elements being sprinkled in there. So I really dug it.
Now, would it be a superhero or a supervillain?
Well, during the movie, you're unknown as to how it's gonna twist or come out, whether it's gonna be a superhero, supervillain. Just because the premise of the movie is that it's a kid that's learning to live with these abilities that he's starting to develop. So the movie it follows very similarly to the Superman story. And Superman even had a story like this, like in an alternative universe. You know, what if Superman landed in Russia like 10 years ago, or maybe even longer? They released Superman, the Red Sun. And this kind of has that kind of vibe where, like, what if Superman was bad? And what if Superman didn't grow up with these morals to be a good person? And so the movie explores that. And I think that's where people are kind of hating on it a little bit, is that it's such a cool premise that it could have been so much better if they would have done a few minor tweaks. But even like it is, man, it's super cool. It's a different story. You really don't see movies like this that have a different spin, and it's not just the same cookie cutter WWE movie with with the Miz, and it's just
I don't know. It sounds like the Miz would have made it better.
maybe.
Well, that scene right there.
But no, man, I think it's cool, man. For anybody that's a superhero horror fan, Superman fan, I think this movie's very intriguing, and it's worth your hour and a half that it's going to take. And in the box office, it didn't do that bad. It's just that Rotten Tomato and a few other places, like you mentioned, Noel, kind of shitted on it, so it's not doing too well critically. But man, it had like a $6 million budget, and it made $32 million in the box office. So
yeah, I mean, I never heard of it. This is the first I'm hearing about it, and I'm reading. I did a quick check, and yeah, it's panned by the critics big time, but Rotten Tomatoes had it at like 59%.
Right.
But all that shit's skewed. But yeah, I see the cast: Elizabeth Banks and the guy from The Office, Pam's fiance for a while, and
right.
I mean, it's interesting. No, not John Krasinski. The guy he stole her from.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So yeah, and it looks it's Sony made it, so it looks interesting. Yeah, it does say it's like it's outside the box type of movie.
Right. I mean, I kind of heard about it back when it was like announced at San Diego Comic-Con, and ever since I saw the trailer, I was just like, wow, this looks different. And I'm kind of a horror guy myself. I like watching those horror movies, so it kind of intrigued me. And then I'm a mark for Superman, so I was just like, this is right up my alley. So I definitely had to give it a watch, and I highly suggest for anybody to go out there and go check it out. But I guess some other checking out that we need to do is, how has your Facebook Marketplace look up, Andy? And your offer up, man? How's all that stuff going for you lately?
Well, you know me, man. I'm always hustling. I'm always trying to sell shit, make some extra money. But I recently delved into the offer up, let go, Facebook Marketplace stuff. I think today people they don't know how to interact with people, and I've had numerous discussions with other people from my job. So you know, gather around, people. I got some stories for you because I was talking to a guy who sells on marketplace and let go, and he was saying that it is rude for you to make lowball offers to people who are selling because you might hurt their feelings or something to that effect.
I tend to agree with that just because
it's a fucking negotiation, man.
right. I get that part. But I think it should be something within reason. You don't go buy a $20,000 car and offer them $10,000 because that's just like. Well, I mean, you could, but to me, that's where I kind of align with this guy that you're talking about. Is that
the worst is they're gonna say is no?
No, yeah, and by all means, yeah, you could do that. But to me, it's kind of like it's ridiculous. Like to me, it's like you're almost slapping the guy in the face. It's like half the price. I mean, look at our friend that went to go trade it in a car, and then they offered him like $20 for it. And it's just like, dude, like you don't lowball somebody that drastically. Like, let's say the car was worth $200. Then you offer him 150, $100. But man, he like lowballed him, and he's just like, I'll get it towed out of my parking lot if you want, just give me the keys. And so it's kind of outside to me.
Nah, man, just fucking make them an offer and always say cash, and they're either gonna say yes or no, and then you move on or you negotiate to a price that's comfortable. But I don't know. Have you sold anything on the internet, Noel or Danny, or tried anything just besides eBay? Like I got my little eBay thing, but I've been reading more and more about marketplace and offer up, and I've delved into it. And I mean, I sold like a couple of things, but generally it's just people asking a lot of fucking questions. I feel like they're afraid to say anything for the risk of like they might offend you, and it's just fucking strange, man. Like, I have people messaging me the same shit, like, "Oh, is this still available?" I'm like, "Yeah, do you have any questions? Do you want to make me an offer? Price is negotiable." Then you don't hear shit from them. They disappear off the face of the earth, and like that's like numerous fucking deals are their little chat thing that they have, and it's fucking. A lot of them are just like kids and women, and I don't think. I mean, I'm not trying to say like I'm some fucking alpha male here, but fuck, man, like women in general, through my experience and on these platforms is all they ask if it's there, and then you gotta like initiate shit, and then you tell them what the price is, or the price is clearly stated, and then they're just like, oh no, I don't. They won't either say anything or they like block you and shit.
Yeah, man. I think you're being a little too aggressive, man. You're grabbing all these these women by the pussy, man. You gotta relax.
People who are aggressive are generally more successful in life. I read a book, man. Entrepreneurs. If you read some of their books in this country, their strategy has always been be aggressive. Because if you just being complacent and just waiting for shit to happen, you're not gonna be successful in this country.
Oh, you got a point. Yeah, you're probably more successful, but depending on your aggressive tactics, you might not be very well liked by people.
It don't matter. I mean, you're offering them a product. You're trying to come at a price, but by not saying anything, nothing's gonna get fucking done.
Well, maybe they weren't interested in the product.
Then why are they messaging me?
Just to get information. I mean, well, who knows?
Clearly stated on there, man. Like I don't know why they're asking me if it's available. I'm like, yes, it is.
I'd have to take a look at your ad. I don't know what it said. It could have been like very vague. It could have been like, "Hey, do you want this? It's blue. It's shiny." I don't know what it's
junk or something. Like, hey, I know you want this, ladies. But come on, man. It's just I think it's just in today's generation, it's just people are intimidated. It's just frustrating, man. And I'm trying to, even when you go to this is just on the internet. In the internet, everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, it's somewhat you don't have to meet, you don't have as much face-to-face confrontation or dialogue. It's all through like a chat thing." So I can't imagine I can't imagine when they go to real life or they go to a garage sale if they're even gonna make like a fucking offer or anything. They're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna just pay for whatever you're asking for. That's what I'm imagining is going on. And then to me, it's always like everything's up for negotiation. Everything's always you could always make an offer. The worst is gonna say is fucking no. Like
Right.
remember I was talking to you about that DSI, Danny, that kid I wanted to buy here locally, and the fucking guy wanted $45. So I asked him a bunch of questions like, "Hey, does it work? I just want to confirm that it works." And he goes, "Yeah, everything works fine, and I'll come with the charger." So I'm like, "All right, sweet, man. So I see you want 45. Are you willing to take 25?" And he didn't respond. And I'm just like, "Just tell me yes or no, dude. It's not that hard." And then I'm like, "Hey, are you still there? Like, I'm really interested here. Like, I'm willing to even give you up to 35." And nothing. And then I think the guy blocked me. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you, some pussy or something, man? Fucking say yes or no, dude. Like,
You know what
seriously,
it
man.
is? I know
Mm.
exactly what it is, dude. The When I was playing Diablo, I would be doing what you're doing, but with like items in Diablo, right? And I would be haggling, like I'll give you two of because it was all barter. So I'd be like, I'll give you two of these things for one of those things, kind of thing. And eventually, people would get like really offended. Like if what they're selling me or what I'm trying to
Yeah.
trade for is like they value it, like oh man, I have so many good memories with this shit. Like you don't even know. It's hard for me to part with it. And it's like, dude, that's just like fucking Diablo shit. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't nothing special. And then they'll just block me and they'll squelch me so I can't message them. And I just start laughing so hard. But like, I get your frustration because this is real life. This isn't like a video game. But I think that's how it is, though. It's like people are getting offended because they have real high value, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"This is the firm price."
So, like, one of the things I'm saying, I bought these grills, like Weber grills, one for me and one to flip, so I could pay kind of for both of them. Or like ultimately, the brand new grill is gonna cost me like $40 if I get the price for the one I'm selling. So it's this Weber grill, propane grill, and I've had it on offer up, and like twice a week I get messages about it, and people just lowballing the shit out of me. Like, I'll give you 100. I'm asking $290 for it. So at least once a week, someone calls, "Hey, is this available? I'll give you $100." And I'm like, "Nah, man, the best price I could do is this price." And I don't hear anything back. And some of them are friendly, like, "Oh, nah, man, I can't do that price." Great, man. At least they're telling me straight up they can't. So today, leading up to here, I got this message from this fucking guy in Barrington, and every message has this long-winded response, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, so this is what when I was driving up to work, I'm gonna just read it to you. So he offers me, I'm having the grill for $300. I told him. He goes, "Is the price negotiable?" Yeah, I go, "Yeah, it's a negotiable." And then he goes, "Would you take 200 for it?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I can't take that price. Like, give me 280, and it's yours." And then he sends this long fucking winded response, and to me that means this motherfucker wants the grill. He goes, "Andy, honestly, I should not even look at the new grill because the one I have is still good?" Question mark. Plus, he needs to work on his grammar. But probably I can use the small one to put in my garage and kind of use it in the winter as well? Question mark. Like,
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck. He goes, "I could probably split the $80 with you and pay you 240 for it, but I gotta consult with my wife if that will work for you." He goes, "Think about it. I'm off tomorrow and I can stop by to pay you and take it off your hands. Let me know." I'm like, what the fuck, man? Just say,
Well,
"Give me your final." He's saying 240, and I'm gonna be like, "Fuck, nah, dude. I need like this is my final dead price for me to to be satisfied and get this thing out of my house before winter starts. But that's the
what do you?
shit that you get.
Well, what do you want, Andy? You were complaining that people don't respond, and then this guy, he has a whole conversation
Well,
with
that's what
you,
I'm
and
saying,
that's too
dude.
much, man.
That's a fucking story right there, man. That took up like 2 minutes of my airtime here, man.
Man, you're being a little too selective. It's like, what do you want? Do you want guys to just give you, you know,
Yes.
an EAD, or give you the whole
Now
story?
that's insulting right there, Dan. I was being a gentleman and a businessman to this guy.
You should put like a note or a disclaimer in your fucking ad, dude. Be like, when you respond to me, respond in 29 characters, no more, no less.
I'm gonna have to go old school from America. Me like, hey, look at me when you talk to me. I say, don't disrespect me.
Right.
I'm gonna have to put some fucking disclaimer. But I'll give you an update. I don't know that what he offers seems tempting, but it's not. I need to make a little bit more money in it so I can be happy, because when I have a gambling addiction, and now with the NFL back, I gotta I'm playing a pool, and we gotta keep going because I gotta pay my gambling debts.
Right. Yeah, so you're playing the pool at work?
Yeah, I'm playing a confidence pool. And I got plus all my other side bets on college football and stuff. But so I'm playing. Why NFL's back for all you people who live in international countries and lands and waters. It's a big thing here in the United States. So I'm on this confidence pool. So I'm watching like every freaking football game that's available or I can find on the internet, because I'm a degenerate gambler sometimes.
Well, what about spending time with your wife, Andy?
Man, I spend enough time with her during the week.
Damn.
I need some Andy time, man. Then this is how I get it, watching football.
All right.
But yeah, man, NFL's back. I'm excited. I don't know about those fucking Bears. Always bet with your head, not with your heart, because that's when you get fucking burnt.
Can you bet with your dick, or that's not advised either?
You can, but you might lose, and that's something you don't want to lose. Because then it gets really creepy real quick.
Right.
Those bets come with severe consequences, huh?
Absolutely. And I'm always shit talking people in the confidence pool, and now I'm fucking like third to last.
Yeah, I wanted to play. I started getting the itch earlier this year, and I'm just like, man, I think I'm gonna play the NFL confidence pool this year, just because I hadn't played it in a few years. But yeah, man, I got sick and I was on vacation the week it started, so I didn't get a chance to make my picks. But it is exciting, man. It's exciting to be in a confidence pool while you're, watching the football season unfold. That way, you not only watch your home team, but you watch all the other teams just to stay informed and make your picks for the following week.
I mean, for me, ever since when we started working together, Danny, that's when I heard about a pool. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck y'all doing? And then ever since then, I cannot imagine watching NFL football and having fucking money on these games, because you're pissed off 24/7, or you're just fucking excited as fuck because you're like every game is a must watch from mine, or I gotta get the Red Zone channel or something to that effect, because I need to know what the fuck's going on.
Right, I haven't had the Red Zone in quite a while. I think the last time I had seen it officially, when you don't, find a website that's mirroring it, was at your house, at your old house on North Avenue. That's when you used to have the Red Zone with DirecTV, and you used to be able to see like 6 games at the same time, and it was pretty sweet.
They've evolved so much from that. They're talking about NFL's just milking all that shit, and they're coming up with like newer apps. And I heard that if you subscribe to Dish, NFL hooked them up. They give you the Red Zone for free or some shit like that. You know how for a while DirecTV was saying you sign up and you get the DirecTV Sunday package was part of your that first year for free. So they're trying to entice you. But yeah, I mean, I'm a degenerate gambler. I love NFL football with the confidence pool. It just makes it much interesting. What's interesting is going to be our article of the week, guys. As you know from our previous episode, because we've been on air for over 100 episodes in your face coalition. MoviePass owners put shuttered service up for sale, ending their drama. We talked about this in a previous episode. I mean, me being a movie goer and I love going to the movies, this service was kind of interesting, and it was just too good to be true, man. Their business plan did not work. You know, for $10, you could watch all the movies you want when they first came up, and the article states a board committee will identify and review and explore all strategic and financial alternatives, including the sale of MoviePass and MoviePhone, the company said on Friday. So it looks like they're fucking done. I've never really signed up for it because I don't know about the subscription stuff at the time when it first came out. Second of all, I felt like it was too good to be true. I mean, you go to the fucking movies now, it's like fucking 30, 40. You're spending $50. When I go with my wife, you know, we usually get some popcorn and drinks. It's like, including to go see the movie in a matinee, you already dropped $50 for sure.
I accidentally subscribed to the AMC one for a year.
Right.
And you know, it wasn't that great of a service for me. And I didn't subscribe to the movie one. I subscribed to like the
stubs?
The premium. Yeah, I think it was because I think there's two levels of stubs. There's like
Yes.
there's the free one, then there's the first level that you pay for, and I think that's the one I accidentally subscribed for. It gets you like upgraded popcorn and the chance for free tickets and discounted this. And then the next level above it is the one that's kind of like this movie pass where you get, you know, one movie a month or whatever the whole the package is. But yeah, man, there was a while that me and Alana and Junior were kind of getting kind of nuts with movies. You know, we were going like once a month, and I kind of contemplated getting this movie pass, but it just seemed too good to be true, and I was kind of afraid to pick it up because of, you know, the eventuality that they would shut it down.
Well, the article states like it was successful in the beginning. It was just they actually brought more traffic to the theater. It actually got AMC to create their version of it because you know, they saw how successful one, but they're being smart business people. They're like, we don't know how this shit works, how they're making money, and I think the AMC one limited you to 2 movies a month or some shit like that. This thing was like, it was all you can eat, man. You could go every fucking day and watch a movie, no matter what time. And like, think about it. So you're telling me every time a person went, you know, they were paying full price, and this person only paid $10 for 1 fucking month? Like, it didn't make sense. And some of the comments, people talk about how they abused Movie Pass option about, you know, they were going to the movies every fucking day. And then, you know, in previous episodes, they talk about how, you know, we talked about how they were struggling and they started like limiting, and they were having problems buying tickets. And people were like, I'm trying to use it, and it's not letting the theater chain's not taking it. And they ran into just a bunch of shit, you know, and that's when the downfall really started. You know, they were trying to get some reinvestment, some capital, and it just did not work out for them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It seems like they had like good intentions in the beginning, just trying to get more people to go to the movies, to be in attendance, and just help out like local theaters that, you know, died off because of all the movies you could watch at home and Netflix and shit like that. So it's a shame, you know, they tried, but the business model just needs work, you know?
Yeah, you know, people today, they're so, I mean, we've talked about it on previous shows. You're so comfortable with your big screen TV, the comfort of your own home. You know, you get to pause the movie and walk around, go to the bathroom. You're not going to miss anything. And I think people are just getting more adjusted to that. And the movie theater experience, which is awesome, just today's kids, they'll never know for that. They'll never know because they're used to just watching everything on a big screen TV at their house. And I think, like you said, they had good intentions, but their business model sucked. I mean, if you look at the comments, I don't know if you guys read it. There's Somebody talked about how they abused the thing. He goes, I got MoviePass at $10 when it first offered and saw every movie I could. Sometimes I wouldn't see a movie. I just go to the kiosk at AMC, buy the ticket to get points for concessions. I 100% abused the system, but I got out when MoviePass started limiting the movies in theaters. I knew it was over, and I'm on a different plan. And I mean that the plain and simple. Imagine how many people were doing that, and like how were they? Did you tell me they're paying AMC or they were paying full price for the theaters? I'm pretty sure the chains weren't giving them a discounted price.
I think that's where some of the problems came, that chains weren't giving them discounts.
I mean, it had to be. It's just, I think they were hoping they were going to be able to bully them, and it just did not happen. And I think AMC starting their shit kind of fucked them over, and then some of the movie chains start taking the movie pass, or just like you can only see one fucking movie a month for $10. Like I know what movies is going to by my house. If we go to matinee, it's $5. I know it's different out where I used to live. I remember going to matinees. I think it was like $10, and the full price at the time was like 15.
Yeah, no, for me, man, movies, I don't really go as often as I used to. I would say like maybe 10 years ago, I would go sometimes once a week, sometimes like two or three times a week. But yeah, it's definitely dropped down a lot. The last movie I saw was Spider-Man, The Far From Home.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different movie going experience, even with the recliners and all that bullshit. It's I don't want to keep harping on the price. It's just different, and I think today generations they're so just used to watching stuff at home whenever they want. They don't gotta wait for it to come out on TV. They just click a button and then they start what they want to watch starts playing. I mean, me, Danny, to some extent, you, Noel, we had to wait for TV, or we had to fucking go grab some type of media, put it in a player, and hopefully you had it, or you had to go to Blockbuster to go rent it, and hopefully they had enough for you to rent. Sometimes it would, run out, and all the on-demand stuff like Netflix, all the streaming shit that we kind of talked about. I mean, that's where we're going to, the all-you-can-eat buffets of streaming. I'm recently just looking into. Like, look at this. This is $9. Disney Streaming Plus, and they're gonna have a shitload of stuff on that platform. It's gonna be what? I think it's gonna be cheaper than that. It's gonna be like $8 or something, right? And I'm thinking about switching that and maybe just getting rid of Netflix, because they're offering a bundle to get ESPN Plus and Hulu for one cheap low price if you pay up front. I mean, you can't beat a fucking deal like that.
God damn, all these fucking services, man. It's crazy.
Danny told me about how Disney Plus was offering that type of package, and I started Googling, I was reading how people were saying the server was crashing, and they were letting you do up to 2 years and all this goofy shit. And I'm like, man, Disney ain't fucking around. They want to take down Netflix because they know that's the fucking future of entertainment, especially home entertainment, because no one is buying media. I mean, only hipsters are buying stupid records and shit like that. Unless unless VHS tapes or DVDs come around, I think for movies and music, they ain't bringing the CD back anytime fucking soon. Everybody's on Spotify and Pandora and all that other shit, and they're more than willing to pay for that.
Do you pay for a music service, Andy?
Yeah, nah, man. I use YouTube. I'll fucking listen to those bullshit ads and I fucking skip ahead when I can. For my music, I got Amazon Music. It's fine, it's serviceable, but if it's not on there, I just go to fucking YouTube and just pop in some shit and I'll put it on my truck.
You could even use YouTube Downloader. You ever seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. Keep it on your phone whenever you want, listen to that song.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so much. We're so accustomed for music. It's just different. It's a different perspective now. People think about music differently than when we were. I mean, I'm sounding like some old man. Get the fuck off my lawn, kids. But yeah, they just look at everything so different. and they don't understand you're not owning anything. They're just letting you listen to it. One day they could say, you know what, fuck this. We're not going to let nobody listen to this song. It's too controversial. They'll fucking take it off and no one will ever hear about it again.
So you need to download, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And even that, the download stuff, you know, it's eventually they're gonna start cracking down on that shit. Like that's why with the login stuff, the accounts, they're all starting to crack down on that shit. They got like AI searching for people where they log in and where your location on your tablet or device to see who the fuck owns this and how many people are sharing it. They're cracking down on that. We've talked about that too in the past, how they're trying to crack down on.
That's why you need that NordVPN, dude. Shout out to NordVPN.
Man. I feel like that's even a work, dude. Like that's some setup shit by the government.
Nah, dude.
I could buy an account for the VPN too from the reseller people I know that sell me accounts for like Hulu and all this other shit. They sell VPN accounts. How the fuck are they getting those?
It's more likely that all these streaming services are giving the government your information than these VPN, or at least NordVPN. That's the specific brand.
Because every once in a while I'm like, I should just get one to try my Netflix like in Europe because they got more shit than they do here. I think you've done that, Danny, and I've been kind of interested, but I'm like, I don't know. Like if I really want to watch it, I'll find a way to watch it.
Right. I've had, or last year I had IP Vanish, the VPN service, and that was okay. It did help me watch more like MLB stuff because everything gets blacked out nowadays, and you can't even watch the stuff at home for your home team. So it kind of sucks that you have the MLB package, but then you can't watch home games. So yeah, I would use it on occasion, but now the Norton antivirus has their own VPN that you can use. So that's the one I've been using lately.
Wait, Norton has a fucking VPN?
Right. Yeah, Norton's has one.
I heard the CIA got a piece of Norton, man.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it was designed by CIA operatives and to get your information.
Well, Andy, I'll promise you this, man, that Freeform Network will never steal anybody's information, and that's a promise. Otherwise, Andy will pay you $1 million.
Allegedly.
But we'd like to thank you all for listening. Remember, keep following us on Facebook and Twitter at Freeform Network. Go to our website, freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There are all our episodes that we have uploaded, and any kind of new episodes. That's the place to find them. There you could subscribe or hit the links to get to all the different providers that broadcast this podcast. And please hit that like and subscribe button, man. It really helps us out. But that's enough from us for today. For one of your hosts, Andy.
100+ episodes and still going strong. Get your face ready.
And Noel.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Love you as always.
Yes, sir. And I'm Daniel. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Dad.